highest quality visuals, it starts with creating a really high quality voice clone. And that's what we'll be talking about in this session. We'll go over first how to create a high quality voice clone. Then we'll discuss the different tools you have within our AI Studio for controlling the delivery and emotion. We'll also cover the common issues and tips for fixing. And finally, go over some advanced integrations you can do for highest possible quality. So with that said, there are two ways to clone your voice on Heygen. The first way is whenever you create your avatar and you upload your video footage, we automatically create a voice clone from that video footage. And that voice
This is a
clone is
video on
often
how to
best
create a
because one, it's
high-quality
easy, it's
Heygen
automatic,
voice.
but two, it can include the ambient sound that matches your environment. So, if I recorded, again, on the beach and there's that subtle waves in the background, that ambient sound can add realism to the look. But sometimes when you create that video look, you might like how you look, but you might not be fully satisfied with the voice if it sounds too monotone or there's other quality issues. And in those cases, our standalone voice clone is a great option. And sometimes the reason why that can happen is the ideal way to record your avatar footage is not necessarily the ideal way to record your voice clone. In order to record a great voice clone,
Welcome to this video. This is a video on how to create a great Heygen voice, an AI voice that can be used for your avatar. We'll get into the session from some of the Heygen specialists.
Then when you go to record, you can essentially hold your phone like 6 inches from your mouth. You can hold it flat and then speak in steady sentences. You can take brief pauses. That's good, but you want to avoid overly long pauses or that can introduce instability. And then very importantly, when it comes to choosing your script, choose a script that matches the type of script that you intend your avatar to say. So for example, if I am creating this avatar because I intend to create TikTok product ads, I might want to have my script be a short product ad. Or if I am creating this avatar because I wanted to deliver lectures on behalf of me, then my script can be an excerpt from one of my lectures. The closer that script resembles the intended use case, the better the style and the tone of the voice is ultimately going to serve that use case. The other thing with the script is if you have an accent, try to include words in your script that really capture the accent. So like, if I have a Boston accent, I say woulda. That's a good word because now it learns, all right, that's how Adam pronounces his R's. One trick you can do here is, if you have a script, just put it into ChatGPT and ask for it to, rephrase to capture more of the accent markers. And then finally, I've said this a couple times, but we'll keep saying it because it's so important. Be extra expressive when it comes to your voice delivery. The cloning process can often flatten the tone, make you sound a little bit more monotone than you actually sound. And so the way to mitigate this is to have extra energy. Try to be natural, but at the same time, very expressive. So your most expressive natural self. So once you've created a great voice clone, we offer a lot of tools within our studio that allow you to control not just what is said, but exactly how it's said. First, we offer a tool called Voice Director, and this allows you to set the overall mood of the video. You can choose from different presets. So I can make Annie deliver the script in a more excited tone or in a very calm tone, or I can add my own custom prompt, like, say this sarcastically. We also offer voice tags. Voice tags offer inline script control. So if I want Annie to laugh at a specific moment or whisper a specific word or add emphasis, in some area, I can add that with these inline tags. Generally, a tag lasts until the next tag. And then finally, for the maximum level of control, we offer voice mirroring. And voice mirroring allows you to voice act it out yourself. So you can upload audio or record yourself saying it, and then your avatar will deliver it exactly as you said it, but in their voice. So if you have a very specific line delivery in mind, we often see our own marketing team use this occasionally to just nail that like one tagline and get it perfect. It's worth saying automatically when you enter a script, the audio is going to adapt to match the context of the script. So 95% of the time, we see users just enter a script, tap generate, get a great result. But these tools kind of allow you to get that added level of control to make that last 5% exactly what you want. And sometimes you have specific needs. And with the combination of these tools, it's really easy to get exactly what you need. So now, rather than just talk about it, we'll just go through a few demos of each one, starting with the voice director. Recorded this just quickly last night. And this is within our AI studio.
So with voice director, I can control the delivery at the scene level. I can choose a preset or add my own custom prompt. And now when I preview this, we'll hear it with a more excited delivery.
Director, a new feature in AI Studio that lets you control not just what your avatar says, but how it says it. With Voice Director, you can guide speech and movement using...
So you can hear very excited tone. All these videos are a little sped up just for timing, but you can tell that extra excitement in the tone because I prompted for that with our voice director. Then we also offer voice tags, and our voice tags is powered by ElevenLabs V3 engine. This is their latest engine, and it's a very powerful, overall just strong voice engine. So when you use this, your voice will naturally sound great and expressive, even if you're not adding tags. But the tags allow that extra level of control where you can make Annie laugh at a specific moment, or add extra emphasis, really whatever you need. And we encourage you to definitely experiment, try it out. It is worth calling out with ElevenLabs V3 tags, we see it offers the best results and sometimes also the worst results. So when you're using ElevenLabs V3, highly recommend to preview before you submit. You can preview with that little play button, and it's non-deterministic. So occasionally it might come out with a bad result, and then next time it'll be amazing. So preview, and then if you don't like it, you can always tap those 3 dots and regenerate until you're satisfied. We also offer a one-click enhance button for this, where it will automatically add tags based on the context of your script. So this is generally a great way to get started. Like what I will do is I start with the enhance and then I edit from there. So I want to change that first tag to something else, but it's a great starting point and gets you most of the way. And then finally, if you are using a public avatar where it's not important that the voice matches your own voice, we do have a list of curated voices that are recommended to use with this engine in our public voice library. So if you're flexible as to what voice you can use, would definitely recommend choosing one of those.
So the other method of control we have is voice tags, which you can use with our ElevenLabs V3 engine. So here I just gave an example script, and now I'm setting my voice engine to ElevenLabs V3. So I save that, and when ElevenLabs V3 is set, you can enhance the voice. So this is a one-click button that will automatically add tags to the script based on the context of the script. You can then update these tags or add your own tags based on what you want. So let's say I want her to whisper the beginning of the story, and then I like how she'll sigh here, and then she's going to sound exasperated when she speaks this next line. And as a rule of thumb, the tag lasts until you hit the next tag. This is great for if I want to make Annie laugh at a specific moment, or really if I need just any specific word level control. So voice director is great for giving the entire scene an emotion, make it more excited, make it calm, whereas ElevenLabs V3 tags allow that extra level of precision. Let's listen to this.
Life. It started with my alarm clock malfunctioning, making me rush out of the house late. On my way to work, I got caught in a sudden rainstorm and my umbrella flipped inside out. I slipped on a puddle and ended up covered in mud. Then I accidentally walked into the wrong meeting and gave a presentation about a completely different project. As if that wasn't enough, my phone rang with bad news and I spilled...
So you can see there, like the laugh as if that's not enough. So it's natural. The tags don't make it so extreme where you kind of have wild fluctuating emotions. And the tags do work better if they make sense in context with your script. Meaning if you try to deliver really sad news and write excited tag, it's going to have trouble listening to that tag, versus if you write a script that naturally is very excited, like, oh my God, I got the job, and then you make that excited, typically that'll listen to the excited tag better. So the tags that make sense with the script generally work best. Finally, we got voice mirror. So voice mirror is where you can record it yourself and then have your avatar deliver it exactly as you said it. And one of our other core product PMs, I'm going to borrow one of his demos to show for this.
All right, I'm going to give a quick demo of voice mirroring, so let's give this a try. I'm going to upload an audio and record it right now. Here we go. Voice mirroring is absolutely amazing. They match my tone and pacing just perfectly. All right, I over-exaggerated to just show it, but let's hear it. Voice mirroring is absolutely amazing. They match my tone and pacing just perfectly. All right, let's turn voice mirroring on, add it to a scene. So right now it's transcribing. I have Annie as the selected voice, so let's see how it sounds with Annie's voice.
Voice mirroring is absolutely amazing. They match my tone and pacing just perfectly.
Pretty good. Let's say I wanted Annie to sound like a man, baritone Bryce. I just simply switch it here.
Voice mirroring is absolutely amazing. They match my tone and pacing just perfectly.
Pretty good.
Awesome. So yeah, with these three tools, again, generally you don't need to use any of them. All you need to do is enter a script, tap generate, you'll get a great result out of the bat. But with these tools, you can get exactly the control you want, so that whatever you are envisioning, you can ultimately create. So with that said, I'll now hand it over to John, who will go over a lot of the common issues we see, how you can fix those, and get into the advanced integrations as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. Well, you had so much fun demoing all the cool features. I'm going to help you all fix bugs. All right, let's get started. Okay, so first, before we begin, I just want to shout out a new feature that's about to come out. It's called Voice Doctor. If you're like me and you want an easy button for all of your problems, that's what Voice Doctor is here to do. This will be rolling out in the next 2 weeks for all users. You can imagine this experience as you have an issue with your voice, you come into Voice Doctor to complain, and then it feels like Adam and I are there helping you make your voice better. Okay, now let's go to the top 3 user complaints around voice and how we can fix them. First complaint is voice doesn't sound like me. How this usually comes up is, the accent doesn't match. Say you have an Australian accent and you sound American on Heygen, or maybe the voice is too high-pitched or it's too low-pitched, and it doesn't really sound like how you normally talk. The next up we have is inconsistent voice. So how this happens is you have a script and it sounds great in the beginning, and then suddenly in the middle, it switches accents. It goes from you talking like an American to you talking with a British accent. Another way this shows up is the voice will speed up or slow down randomly in the script, and you want it to be very consistent throughout. Common issue. And then the last common complaint is incorrect pronunciation. So how this normally shows up is for customers that are trying to make videos for a brand, a product, where they need to get the pronunciation exactly right every single time. So for instance, sometimes it'll pronounce websites wrong, like www.heygen.com, or it can't say certain acronyms like NBA. Okay, let's get started with the first issue. Voice doesn't sound like me. So our best recommendation right now for voice doesn't sound like me is to try the Fish engine. You can access it in AI Studio by opening up the voice panel and then clicking the play button. We onboarded the Fish engine because we found that it has the highest cloning similarity, and it's able to nail very tough to clone accents like New Zealand, South African, and Australian. If that doesn't work for you, then my next recommendation is to re-record your voice with a higher quality microphone like your smartphone in a quiet space so that there's no outside noise that can impact the voice clone. And finally, to use, as Adam recommended, the accent markers, saying "Pak your ka" if you have a Boston accent, or "It's Tuesday in it" if you have a British accent. Okay, next one we have is inconsistent voice. So there's a lot of randomness in voice, especially for the users that use Heygen a lot. You found that it doesn't always get it right. The randomness helps by creating a lot of expressiveness in the voice system, but sometimes it's just not expressive in the way you want. So what we recommend here is to preview often and regenerate. We don't charge for generating text-to-speech on the Heygen platform because we want users to try often and try to get the best voice possible for the video before they generate the video. So we've created this button in the More menu that you can access on the script panel, and this will allow you to regenerate a voice without having to change the script. So if you don't like how it sounds, maybe on the second sentence, please just click the regenerate button without changing it and see the results. You can feel free to regenerate as much as you want to try to get the best result. Okay, the last issue is incorrect pronunciations. So incorrect pronunciations really happens for companies, product names, and what we've created is a feature called Brand Glossary. So to access Brand Glossary, you can highlight the word that's being pronounced incorrectly. It'll bring up a way to spell out phonetically how you'd like it sounded. And we even have a little play button there to show you that, to let you preview how that word sounds before you click save. And once you've saved it, it will apply to every single time that word occurs in the script, which is really convenient. You don't have to update it for, if you have the word Pepsi, you don't have to update it twice. You can just update it once and it's good to go. And what's another great part about the Brand Glossary is once you have it set up, it can apply to videos forevermore. So you don't have to fix the word Pepsi ever again. Set it once and it's fixed forever. Okay, awesome. So those are the 3 top complaints that we have with voice. And then next, we're going to go with mastering integrations or advanced integrations. So a common question users ask us is, how can I get my 11 Labs professional voice clone on Heygen so that I can create Heygen videos with it? Well, I'm glad that you asked that, user. The way you do that is with our advanced integration feature that you can access in the voice panel. This will allow you to import any 11 Labs voice that you've created on their platform into Heygen and use on the Heygen platform to create any avatar video of your choice. So next we're gonna go into a demo of how this works. So Adam, can you please click the first video? So first up, you need to create a new API key. When you create a new API key, you can give it a name however you'd like. And it's very important that you tap access to the text-to-speech feature, the speech-to-speech feature, the speech-to-text feature, as well as the forced alignment feature. These will allow Heygen to use your voice optimally in the Heygen system. Next up, you have to go into administration and tap in read for models as well as user. Once you have that set up, you can click the create key button and then go into the Heygen platform. Okay, can you play the next video? Awesome. So in the Heygen platform, if you open up the voice panel, you can click new voice, integrate third-party voice, and then paste in the API key there. Click continue. And then once that's all set up, all the voices that you have on the 11 Labs platform should now be accessible in this modal. And then you can click add and you give it a while and it will now show up. There you go. I've added the Alice as well as Adam voices. And you can listen and it'll sound exactly like how it sounds in 11 Labs. Awesome. And that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Great demos. That was very easy to follow along. So I guess now we have a few minutes for Q&A. Audrey, I don't know if we already have some questions in the chat that you want to create for us.
Yes, let's take a look at Q&A. We've got lots of great questions. All right. One moment. All right. Okay. While we're going through getting our Q&A, I'm going to ask the similar question for if someone's just getting started. I know our next session is going to go into the AI studio. And John, I know we've got a voice doctor to fix voice. Where should someone who's a brand new beginner kind of get started? What's your kind of like best tip on recording their voice clone for an absolute beginner?
Absolutely. So again, there's two ways to clone your voice on Heygen. One way is to just create your avatar directly. And the way you clone your voice is just to create your avatar. So you start with, from the video footage, and you upload your video, and then automatically get a voice clone. And that's the recommended approach. It automatically comes with the video, and often that voice clone is the best voice because the ambient sound matches, your real environment. When that doesn't work, so for example, here's an avatar I have, and I can go ahead and create with this avatar in Studio. And so this is the voice that's attached to my avatar. This is the voice doctor experience that John teased. For some of you, this will be available. For others, we'll just check back in a few days or a week. We're still rolling it out. But here I can tap. So here are my voices attached to this avatar. And these are the ones that automatically got created from my avatar video. You can see it says from avatar. Here are other voices that I've created just over time. Here's our Heygen library. So public voices that you can use. But let's say I am not happy. Let's say I just created my first video look and I like how I look, but I'm not happy with my voice. Then the standalone voice clone option, is your best bet. And what you can do is basically access it from tapping on your voice. This opens up the voice panel, tapping new voice. And then if you tap integrate third-party voice, this would take you to what John just showed for integrating with your 11 Labs key. But I'm going to tap create new voice. So now I have two options. The generate voice is to design a voice with AI. So for this is really useful if I'm creating with like a virtual character and like a wizard. I can be like create a wizard voice. The instant voice clone is what you'll want to do if you're creating the voice for your digital twin. And how this works is you simply upload an audio file. So following those instructions we went over before, you can just upload a file that meets those requirements. See if I have an MP3. And then you can choose whether or not you want to keep those ambient sounds in the recording. Again, there's the trade-off of some subtle ambient sounds can add to the realism, but if there's too much background noise, it can hurt audio quality. Then I tap create clone, and now I have a new voice clone that I can use with my avatar.
Nice. Thanks, Adam. That's a great walkthrough. We've got a couple questions around how people should choose between how they create their voice clone or if they make a new one and they want to switch back. If someone's thinking about that, do they need to create an 11 Labs voice clone, or can they switch? And if they have an 11 Labs one, could they create one in Heygen and use that instead?
Always. So here are all your voices. These can be a combination of voices that were automatically cloned from your footage, voices that you imported from 11 Labs, or voices that you created with a standalone voice clone. And it's worth calling out this voice clone. We actually use 11 Labs voice clone here, or if you're using 11 Labs. So there's really no difference from cloning your voice on 11 Labs, integrating it here, or using this, unless you're using the professional voice clone from 11 Labs. But generally, the order of operations I would do is I start by just creating my video look and using that voice clone that comes with the video directly. Most of the time that works great, and it's the best voice clone because again, it matches the environment, the ambient sound. If that doesn't work, my next bet is to do this. The instant voice clone, I will record standalone audio, in the right environment, really optimizing for audio quality. Because when I'm recording audio, I can keep the mic 6 inches from my mouth. Whereas obviously when you're recording video, you need to be much farther from the mic. So this can help you achieve that higher quality voice clone that sounds more like you. So yeah, that would be my order of operations. And then if I'm still having issues with this, I would work with the voice doctor, see what settings, try other engines, see if that can fix my issue. And really the advanced integrations, totally not necessary. Some people, they either already have a professional voice clone or, just for some use cases would prefer it. But 99.9% of people are creating, directly with their video look, voice clone, or by doing this standalone voice clone option and getting amazing results.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam. We have a question from someone around creating their own voice clone versus using stock voices and similarly to avatars, and wanted to address that because I know we're covering mostly how you can create your own avatar and your own voice clone for your authentic representation of yourself. But Heygen does offer stock avatars. We have an avatar library and voices that people could use as well, and they could choose to mix and match between those to find the right voice for their avatar as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, we offer, in addition to the voice clone, you can also choose a voice from our public library, and we offer the voice design option where you can text prompt design a voice for your character. Obviously, if I'm creating a avatar of me and I want it to look and sound like me, voice clone tends to be your best bet. That said, there are cases where maybe I want my avatar to be speaking in other languages, and it really doesn't matter that it sounds like me, because I'm using it for whatever use case. It just matters that the accent's perfect. So in that case, I might choose a public voice that's really built with that accent, because generally the voice, if you speak in the language, it'll be best for that language. So if I record in English, then that voice will be best for English scripts. It is multilingual, so it can support any script, but it comes out best if you are creating videos in the same language as that you recorded your voice clone in.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to ask one last question before we wrap up this session. We've got a question around keeping the voice consistent between scenes, and do they need to fix it scene by scene? How to go about that? And I know we're going to jump into the AI studio, not in our next session, but the one after that. But maybe we'll preview around how to keep it consistent across scenes. Would be great.
Yeah, for sure. I can take this one. So the way to keep it consistent between scenes is you shouldn't have to do anything. We've already done a lot of work behind the scenes to make it consistent behind scenes. If it is still not consistent between scenes, I really recommend clicking the regenerate button. That's your best bet to getting it to be consistent. It will regenerate with all the context of the previous and next scenes so that it sounds exactly right within context of that scene. So yeah, so that'd be my recommendation. You don't need to do anything. If you're having issues, I recommend regenerating. We handle a lot of the consistency behind the hood for you so that it's very consistent for your entire video.
Awesome. Well, thank you both. Again, I know we have questions we didn't get to. We will share the recording. We've shared the voice guide in the chat as well, where you can reference a lot of these tips. And there's a lot you can try out from this. I'm very excited about Voice Doctor. I know when we were planning for this session, found out that that was rolling out soon. Hopefully that helps a lot of you get the voice that you're looking for that sounds like you, represents you well with your avatar. So thank you, Adam. Thank you, John. Appreciate your time. We'll see y'all later.
Thank you all.